Hi everyone, thanks for taking the time to check out my course revisions. I was able to get a fair amount of them completed, although I think I bit off more than I could chew with redoing all of the video lectures. That is going to be a summer project for me. I do have some outlines done for the new lectures, but haven't recorded anything yet. I decided to make my changes in an old course shell, so I used my fall 2015 shell to add content and make my changes. So without further ado, here are the changes I have made to my course. One of the first changes I proposed under course and instructor information was to add a way for students to sign up for office hours. I constructed a Doodle Poll and linked it in the announcements feature. One of the things that was frustrating to me was that the Doodle Poll is bound by dates, so it's not a great tool for standing meetings. I may end up using SurveyMonkey instead. Here's where I've linked to the Doodle Poll, and here is the poll where students can let me know what would be the best day for me to hold virtual office hours. Another change I made was asking my students to create their introductory posts using Vokey and link to those Vokey presentations in the Introductions discussion forum. We did talk in the course about how Vokey is not accessible for students with hearing difficulties. I'm not sure how I want to handle this, since I haven't been able to find a free tool that provides transcripts. And I feel like asking students to provide their own transcripts would be really daunting and would take the fun out of the activity. So I guess one of the things I'm always looking for are ways to incorporate accessible media. And I'll talk more about accessibility later. Here is my Vokey post in the forum. The third change I made, also under course and instructor information, was adding a supplemental course description to the syllabus. I crafted one that was a little more interesting and added it. So here it is highlighted in the syllabus, right here. In the same category, I wanted the course expectations to be clear, so I added a discussion rubric. I have included the rubric in two places, with the syllabus and in a section of the collaboration tab of my LMS. So here's the rubric. In that same category, as far as support resources, I came up with several. In two categories, geography-specific resources and writing resources. But I realized that I don't have a great place in my course to house those resources. So for now, they reside in the announcements. I'm going to see if I can come up with a better place to put them. I'm wondering if the syllabus would be a good place to house them. The last change I wanted to make in that course information category is to add QRGs for major course components. I've completed one of them so far, and it is a QRG that shows students with screen captures how to post in the discussion forums. I've linked to that in the same tab that I was in earlier. I have a few more QRGs that I'm working on. Okay, so for category 2, this is where I've kind of dropped the ball. I proposed that I was going to redo all the lectures for the course, and I haven't started recording those yet. You might remember that I'm teaching a class that someone else put together, and the instructor who put it together recorded audio slideshows. I've been using those since they are really good, but I'm really conscious of making the course more my own, so I want to make the lectures my own by totally redoing them. I'm probably going to be working on this all summer, but I've got some outlines done, and I'm putting together my PowerPoints slowly. The alternative assessment strategies exercise was really useful for me because it helped me really think about how I could provide students with a variety of ways of demonstrating knowledge. I realized that I rely heavily on formative assessments and less on summative assessments. So I've added a research project to the course. I'm still working out the assignment details, but that's the wrong document. It's going to be scaffolded, and I restructured the syllabus and the grade breakdown to add the research project. So there that is. The nice thing about redoing the recorded lectures is that I already know that I will be making them accessible, which they currently are not. So I'm going to provide transcripts. So part of my revision was to review my course for accessibility and come up with a plan to make the content more accessible. I'm starting to change some of my documents to PDFs. Still have a few Word docs here. And I've been adding alt tags to my images, and I will have transcripts for all of the audio and video lecture content. One of the things I'm not sure about, since I'm using kind of an alternative LMS, is how accessible the LMS itself is. I've mostly worked with Blackboard and know how accessible their platform is, but I'm still trying to learn more about this LMS and figure out what the accessibility features are. For the interactions and engagement category, one of the changes I wanted to make was incorporating more active learning strategies. I experimented with Quizlet for our assignment that week and was kind of disappointed with it. So this is another thing I'm still working on, figuring out how to add some of those active learning components. This has been a really good exercise for me, since it really required me to think carefully through the elements of my course and figure out what improvements I could make. I think the big changes are still in the works, like redoing the lectures. But I do feel like I've gotten a lot of resources for things like active learning and accessibility, so I can really augment the course. Even though I wasn't able to finish all of the elements of the revision, I have a good plan going forward, and I'm excited to continue to make the changes. I'm really interested in any feedback you have, so feel free to let me know what you think.